What happens when the applause fades, but your name never does? Welcome back to the channel where we explore the human stories behind the headlines. If you appreciate deep, thoughtful biographies that go beyond gossip and into real life, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who values meaningful storytelling. Tonight's story is not just about fame, it's about childhood success, about an industry that remembers your face but forgets your future. This is the story of Erin Moran, the girl who once drew over 30 million viewers a week and years later signed an eviction notice alone in a trailer park in Indiana. But this is not a story about a fallen star. It's a story about what happens when the system moves on and you're still standing there. The girl America grew up with. In 1974, America met Joanie Cunningham. She was bright, curious, and funny, the younger sister on the hit sitcom Happy Days. Erin Moran was just 14 years old when she stepped into that role. For more than a decade, she grew up on screen. Viewers watched her move from childhood innocence to teenage independence. The show wasn't just popular, it was cultural comfort. At its peak, Happy Days in its extended universe attracted 30 to 35 million viewers every week. Imagine that. An entire nation is watching you grow up. To audiences, Joanie Cunningham looked permanent, cheerful, secure, a symbol of nostalgic Americana. But television doesn't run on nostalgia, it runs on momentum. By 1982, Erin was no longer just the little sister. She starred in her own spin-off, Joanie Loves Chachi. At just 21, she was leading a primetime series. From the outside, it looked like a perfect trajectory. Child star to leading lady, stability, longevity. But Hollywood measures success in seasons, not years. In seasons, end. Act 2, typecasting and the silent shift. When Happy Days ended in 1984, the momentum slowed. The phone didn't stop ringing overnight, but the offers changed. Casting directors saw something familiar but narrow, a teenage character from a nostalgic 1950s sitcom, a role that had defined her so clearly that it began to define her limits. Typecasting isn't loud. There's no announcement, no official rejection letter explaining it. It's quiet, exclusive. It's being seen, but not reconsidered. Erin auditioned through the late 1980s and into the 1990s. She kept trying, kept showing up, kept believing another door would open. But the industry had already categorized her. Fame gives you visibility. It does not guarantee reinvention. Financially, the decline was subtle at first. Residual checks arrived from reruns, but they were smaller than many people imagine. Television contracts from the 1970s were not designed for the streaming era. Ownership of the image rarely belongs to the face on the screen. It belongs to the system behind it. And that system moves forward. Fighting for fairness. In 2011, Erin joined former castmates in a lawsuit against CBS. They argued that merchandising profits from products using their likenesses had not been properly compensated. The claim was for $10 million. It wasn't just about money, it was about acknowledgement, about recognizing that faces built franchises, that nostalgia generates revenue, that the people who created the cultural memory should share in its value. The settlement came a year later. Reports indicated each actor received between $65,000 and $75,000, a fraction of what the franchise had earned over decades. For many child actors, this is a late realization. Fame does not equal ownership. Exposure does not equal leverage, and childhood contracts often favor institutions over individuals. Erin had been famous before she was old enough to negotiate her own future. The final years. By the early 2000s, stability became fragile. Erin and her husband, Stephen Fleishman, moved between rentals and stayed with friends. Life had narrowed from studio sets and bright lights to quiet uncertainty. By 2017, she was living in a trailer home in rural Indiana with her family. Neighbors complained of noise. Rent fell behind. On April 21, 2017, Erin signed an eviction notice. One day later, April 22nd, Erin Moran was found dead at the age of 56 with stage 4 squamous cell carcinoma of the throat, an aggressive cancer. She had kept the diagnosis mostly private. Headlines quickly labeled her a fallen star, but that phrase oversimplifies a complex life. She worked steadily as a child for more than a decade. She carried a network spin-off at 21. She fought a corporation over unpaid revenue. She kept auditioning long after opportunities thinned. What faded was not her effort, it was the industry's investment. The real lesson. Erin Moran's story isn't just about fame lost, it's about how systems shape destinies. Television made her famous before she was old enough to understand leverage. It sold her image for decades. It replayed her laughter long after the contracts expired. Joanie Cunningham still smiles in reruns, but Erin Moran lived in the space where fame ends and paperwork continues. Her story reminds us of something powerful. Success at 14 is not a lifetime guarantee. Visibility is not security, and childhood contracts often favor institutions over individuals. Erin had been famous before she was old enough to negotiate her own future. If this story moved you, take a moment to reflect on the human being behind the character. If you believe more stories deserve to be told with empathy and depth, subscribe to the channel, like this video so more people can discover it, and share it with someone who loves thoughtful biographies. And in the comments, tell me, what do you think happens to fame when the spotlight turns away? Thank you for watching, and remember, behind every headline is a human life. I'll see you in the next story.